Good morning, buddy. Welcome back to the Sunday summary after a few weeks off. Hope you guys enjoy the international break. It's time to get back into the Liverpool take on Burnley today. The lineups actually just dropped. So as you just tune in, with the lineups first, we'll just jump right into this, and then on today's show, we'll talk about deadline day. Getting Isak over the line, but unfortunately, couldn't Marc Guehi over the line. We'll talk all those details here. Most of you have probably been up to date since we've been out of commission here for a couple weeks. But let's just jump right into the line, guys. So actually, very interesting. Okay, so same exact lineup, and I believe as a match. However, if you notice, someone isn't on the bench. He's not on the bench. He featured for 20 minutes, roughly 18 or so, against or for Sweden, and not on the bench. So I was very surprised. I was hoping to see an Isak debut today. However, Arne Slot's comments getting into this make some detail as to why this isn't the case. Now, I think it's more of a train concern. Obviously, with deadline day and then the international break, Isak hasn't had a time to train with the team, if he? Now, I don't think it's a health issue because he played 18 minutes for Sweden. So it's likely just Slot's not going to just put a guy in and just to throw him in, right? I've seen some people claiming this is more of an arrogance move. Also kind of pointing at Szoboszlai playing at right back again. But that's not here nor there. The point is that he's not being rushed. He hasn't had time to act to the team. So not as exciting as, or a kind of letdown, I'd rather say. But lineup itself, you got Ederson in goal, obviously. Van Dijk, Konate, Kirkish, and looks like Szoboszlai at right back. Field of Vert, McAllister, and Gravenberch with Gakpo, Salah, and Ekitike. Right, so very strong line, very good lineup. But Frimpong is back healthy, back in training. So you could argue why Frimpong starting at right back. Again, I always err on the side of this guy Slot is just gonna ride a good thing, and he's not gonna push anyone back. Last year, Liverpool had the best injury record of any team, and at the very least, Liverpool over the last decade. Like they changed things completely. They managed minutes very well. Slot training regimen was a lot different than Klopp, so you could attribute it to that. I don't know the details, but the injury frequency and severity and duration much less than it's been in the past. Now, if you look at this bench, I'm always really kind of astounded by how deep it is. Mamadashvili, Gomez, Endo, Bradley, Chiesa, Rabo, Frimpong, Neon, and Ungamoa. I had to recall how to say that guy for a minute. But there is your starters. Okay, there is your bench going into the Burnley match, guys. Oh boy, what's going on with the echo, guy? Oh boy, try disconnecting the audio again. Hold on. Okay, is it still not good? All right, I disconnected the. Trying out this audio, guys. Appreciate you bearing with me. It's funny. I always end up doing. I'm doing a different phone right now, but every time I go and I'm looking at my screen or the comments, I'm going in another screen or another tab. The audio is always trash, so I don't go until like 5 minutes after. Okay, it's still bad. Dang, what is going on? I'm just gonna like disconnect real quick. Okay, let's try again. Let's see if this is any better. I want to see what it sounds like. All right. Are we any better, guys? If it's really bad, I may just have to rough it out with a different type of mic, or just go old school and just go through the speakers. All right, hold on. All right. Final time. Is it still bad? Because I've tried every microphone. I just changed the microphone. I'm on the built-in microphone. Oh God, if it's bad, I might just end it. Oh God. It's better. Oh God. Now it's good. That's a shame, dude. That is an absolute shame. All right, but we're rolling with it, man. God, that sucks. I'm sorry, guys, you had to deal with that. So, okay, so it's probably a lot different. It probably sounds a lot worse, but at least it's dealable, I guess you could say. Anyways, back to the starting lineup. Okay, so you have the same lineup as you had against Arsenal, but with Isak not starting, or excuse me, not even on the bench. Um, as I mentioned, it's probably for those of you who are just tuning in, it's probably just a training thing. He probably didn't have time to train with the team, and I think Slot's taken more of a conservative approach. Um, so sorry, I'm kind of thrown off by the audio thing, but that's you guys get to see everything happen live. Um, so I'm also hoping with this match today that Liverpool are going to get to preview their third kits. I'm pretty sure they're going to wear the teal ones today. Um, but you know how sometimes they'll show the graphics for the games leading up to it, and they'll show a home kit or whatever kit they're supposed to be wearing, and sometimes it doesn't end up being that kit. I've seen all three kits, but with Burnley's home kit clashing with our away and home kits, I'm hoping it's the third kit. So we'll ride or die with that. Which also, by the way, I think is one of the best third kits we've had. Anytime they add green, I think it's one of the best kits. I really do. Shout out to everyone in the chat, really, for putting up with that. Let's go down the list. Oyvind, Liz, Shayna was in here. Nelson, what's going on, everyone? Make sure you slap that like button. And thank you, Liz, very much for the super chat. Not the super chat, gift and a membership. I really appreciate it, guys. And look, since we'll probably end up having a small show anyway because the audio threw off the engagement algorithm at the beginning, I'm just going to try the thing again, guys. All right, we're just going to try it one more time, okay? I switched the microphone. You got to tell me really quick. Testing. Just tell me if it's bad. I'll go back. Tell me if it's bad. It's okay if it's bad. Lyle, what's up, man? Real quick. If it's bad. Testing. I have a feeling it's still bad. Testing, because I can't hear it in mine. Testing. Damn it. Oh, God. All right. Whatever. A little hot, but louder. Okay. So I got to figure that out because this microphone I spent. Kyle, do you need to change to a Liverpool logo? Probably. I probably need to change a lot of stuff here, man. But life comes at you fast. Over the last year, really, you know, the channel's changed. Obviously, as you guys notice, I haven't been able to put out as much content just with work the way it is and getting a new job. And I'm starting a family here. I have a baby due in a couple of weeks, so it's I felt like I wanted to keep making content, but the only feasible thing for me was Sundays, right? It's you don't have a lot of plans. It's Sunday morning for me. That was feasible. And I got to change a lot of stuff. I got to update the channel member badges. I updated my microphone and now it's shit. So I can't win. But that's besides the point. Okay. Let's just chat about this match coming up, guys. Okay. So Liverpool going up to Turf Moor, and honestly, with Burnley at Turf Moor, that's a tough match. Historically, under Scott Parker, they're not the same as they were under Deitch, but Burnley is still historically going to be a physical team. They're going to play you physically, and they are going to be a tough team to beat. Now, under Slot, you could argue maybe we break down low blocks a little bit easier. Okay, we break down low blocks a little bit easier. But with Burnley, I haven't been following them too much this year. I don't know what exactly their playing style is, but I do know that Liverpool can put the ball in the back of the net. We know that Florian Wirtz, I know he had a rough start at Liverpool, but he did score over the international break. All right. You have Ekitike, who's 3 for 3. You have a solid midfield. I mean, really, this team on paper should not have difficulty going up against Burnley. But at Turf Moor, it's a different beast. Now, Brentford helped us out yesterday. Fabio Carvalho, right? Helping us out, getting the final goal against Chelsea for the draw. So we do have a little bit of breathing room at the top of the table, but someone said it earlier. I think Nelson saying we have to run away with it. That's absolutely right. We have got to run away with it. We've made the mistake in the past. I was worried we were going to make it again last year, but we held on. But the year before, when we have a lead, it was later in the year, fatigue set in, right? But now is where you give yourself a cushion, some breathing room, because you know the mistakes are going to come. But you take the opportunity against the teams that you should win against, and that you can give yourself an extra cushion with. You have teams that are behind you that lost or drew. You need to create a cushion because you know that this form cannot last forever. So that is an opportunity for today. Oh boy. Virgil is a good baby name. No, you can't underestimate any team in the Premier League. And I was actually having this conversation with Steve the other day. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked with the chat here. Do you need to change to a Liverpool logo? I don't know if you're talking about my YouTube logo, but I think you are. And then Yogesh says New Balance needs update. Bro, you can wear any kit you want. You can wear any kit you want. I got a Nike kit. I got a New Balance kit. I ordered, I'm telling you, it's happened twice now. I've ordered 2 kits. The old green one, the old green Nike one that was like green and had like red trim, got delivered to the wrong address, never got it. So I was like, screw that, not even going to worry about it. And then I ordered the Adidas one this year, and it was a problem with delivery. So I just gave up on it. So it's happened twice to me now. So, and I'm not a big kit guy. I'll wear kits on stream for you guys every now and then, but I only have like 5 Liverpool kits. I have the Virgil one, which I used to wear only for watch-alongs. It's a legit match day kit, so I don't wear it very much because I don't want to wash it because it's just a delicate kit. If any of you guys have a legit match day kit, not like this where it's like this is like a cheap $20 one. You can wear this out. It stretches. The badge is like ironed on. It's not stitched on or anything. These are durable, right? They're meant to be worn a lot. But the match day ones, I feel like I could rip it by just stretching too long. I don't know. They're very finely made, but that's neither here nor there. Now, going back to the lineup, guys, I want to get your thoughts on why Isak could potentially not be starting. Because I gave my thoughts, but I'm just curious. Also, let's just chat about the Guehi thing, right? The deadline day stuff, because Alexander Isak, that deal, I was worried it wasn't going to happen. Right, our last show, the title is Isak deal off. I was legit thinking, okay, is this not going to happen? Because what happened with Guehi is exactly what I thought was going to happen with Isak. All right, but we ended up getting Isak over the line. 6-year deal, right, all the way through to 2031. I had to do some math there for a minute. Absolutely great bit of business. Completely against everything I thought Liverpool kind of stood for this transfer window. I mean, just kind of blew my mind. But when you look at net spend and who we sold, it actually, you're like, wait a minute, it actually does kind of fall into the way Liverpool do business. They don't spend a lot of money, And you look at just what they spent, you're like, dang, they went above and beyond. But then you look at who we sold and the amount we sold. It's actually, oh, wait, Liverpool are just being Liverpool. So smart business. The Guehi thing hinged heavily on them getting a replacement for a Guehi, them being Crystal Palace, right? The problem with, and I really feel for Guehi too, because imagine this, guys. It happens all the time. It happens all the time in the real world. With athletes, it's just under a microscope because the media gets a hold of it. Imagine this, right? You're working at a company for 5 years, and they tell you up front, look, you're a great employee. Well, you're going to get a promotion when a position is available. You'll be the first one who is interviewed, and you'll be the front runner for the job. Okay, we promise you that. We guarantee you that. And if you come to us and you want a promotion, we'll do what we can, right? Whatever, standard job, right? That happened with Marc Guehi. Marc Guehi had an opportunity to go to Liverpool, to get that promotion, to get a raise. And to my understanding, when you compare him and Isak and how they handled the situation, polar opposites. Not saying Alexander Isak was unprofessional, but he was kind of unprofessional with it. I'll say it. Right now, he ended up here, so we're all happy at the end of the day, myself included, but kind of an unprofessional way to handle it. Guehi, on the other hand, you haven't heard anything about him in the media. He was respectful with it. He basically saw out his contract. I mean, he has this year left, but didn't come out in the media and say anything, just kind of waited. And his deal got denied because Crystal Palace couldn't find a replacement. Now, from Crystal Palace's standpoint, you absolutely understand that. You totally get that. You're like, look, we can't let you leave. We don't have a replacement. Sorry, you're under contract. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. But you kind of think to yourself, well, wait a minute. If Isak can get a move when Newcastle literally didn't want to sell him, because what happened at the end of the day was Isak forced Newcastle's hand because Newcastle weren't going to sell him. But because Isak wasn't going to play, they needed a striker. So Newcastle had to put their foot on the gas and go find a striker. Guehi, who did it respectfully, who followed the rule, who was a prime example of a professional, gets his deal denied at the end. And you can't help but think, if he was unprofessional, if he 2 months ago started this boycott basically of I'm not going to play, you guys, because Crystal Palace said we can't sell you unless we get a replacement. If Guehi took that as, okay, well, I'm not going to play for this club, you're going to sell me regardless, you better get going, he would probably be a Liverpool player right now, which is mind-blowing to me, right? It's just like, it seems like the nice guy finished last in this one. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I really don't. But I feel like the one at fault here is Crystal Palace, like the executive at Crystal Palace, because Guehi did everything right. Guehi was a model professional in this quote-unquote transaction, and he got stiffed at the end. He got stiffed. And Yogesh says you need to do the right things for right things to happen. But Guehi, maybe there's a bigger plan for him. I don't know. But it seems as if he did the right thing and the wrong thing happened. It just kind of stinks. We got here saying that people are blaming Liverpool for the deal. I need a little bit more on that before I comment. I'm actually very curious what you mean there. Nelson says Glasner was just stupid. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait. Who said that? Where is it? Nelson, you said the one behind you needs to get changed. What did they up? Oh, this is still our logo, by the way. This is still our logo. We're just, all of our commercial stuff is the bird, the liver bird, just so you guys know. Like the kit is the liver bird, our logo on the game on NBC, but this is still like a Liverpool logo. unless I'm mistaken. We're just using the LFC Liverbird logo, this one here, for all commercial use, to my understanding. Oh, okay. So Asa Yahweh, I apologize if I mispronounced it, but Arsenal paid Crystal Palace more money to get Eze early. All right, so I see where you're going with this. It just was never going to happen, right? Because Liverpool actually had a little bit more leverage in this deal than Palace did, because we had Gomez as that backup, right? Because we weren't going to sell Gomez to Milan, I think is who he was linked with. We weren't going to sell him to Milan unless Guehi came in, right? So we keep Gomez now. Now, whether Gomez wanted that move, I don't know. I think it was just a possibility. But the fact is that we weren't going to overpay for someone when we didn't, quote unquote, need him. Isak, on the other hand, a little bit of a different story. Newcastle had a little bit more leverage on the price, right? Because Liverpool could have very easily just sat back and said, look, we're not going to, meet your asking price. And then Newcastle would have been screwed, right? Newcastle would have been screwed because Isak would have looked like an idiot. It actually wouldn't have been Newcastle, because Isak committed to not playing for Newcastle. He's like, I'm not playing. So someone must have been in his ear saying the Liverpool deal is going to happen. They're going to come in with X amount of money no matter what. Because otherwise, Isak would have been an idiot to just stop playing, right? He would have, I don't know, that just would have been a stupid situation. But with Guehi, I feel like Liverpool just kind of were casual about it, right? And maybe that's why there's reports saying we're not going in January, or we're just going to wait until he's a free agent next summer, because it's not an urgent matter, right? You could argue Isak wasn't urgent either with Hugo Ekitike, but, rest in peace, Diogo Jota. Diogo Jota passed away, so there's one striker down. Darwin was sold, right? So you technically did need two replacements. So maybe that's how they were looking at it. But in terms of Arsenal overpaying for Eze, you could argue that that's Liverpool's fault as to why we didn't get Guehi, but you could also argue Arsenal were just less smart with their money. I don't know. But Arsenal did have some good business this window. And that's exactly what I was getting at, Asiawi. I don't know if people are jealous. Let's not put it that way. I don't think people are jealous. I do think that people don't understand and overlook the benefits of doing business like we do. Because we have the money to go all out for players whenever we want. And that's the huge thing with fans, Liverpool fans mainly. And it's not all. I think everyone here is kind of on a level playing field, but the ones that are very active on social media, I won't name names, but there are, the keyboard warrior Liverpool fans, I think, are where this actually falls into, the category of fans that this falls into. The ones that bitch and moan about when we don't spend money. If you look at our net spend, even with this summer transfer window, it's pretty much the same proportionally as previous windows. We just bought two players who were super expensive, right? But you don't hear anything about it because they're big name players, right? I don't know. My point is that we spent and got the players we wanted while still not net spending a lot of money. Whereas other clubs, I think, struggle doing that. Surprisingly, Chelsea, actually, their net spend was a lot lower than I thought, because Chelsea do sell a lot of players. Jeez, excuse me. Chelsea do sell a lot of players. But when you look at teams like Man United or Arsenal and Man United are great examples. When was the last time, and please, I'm genuinely asking because I can't think of one. When was the last time that either club sold a player for more money than they bought them for? Genuinely. I mean, Arsenal, I said this 2 weeks ago, Arsenal's biggest club sale, I think, in history was Ox. Is that not wild? So, and then you look at Liverpool, it's clearly a great business model to follow. And why Liverpool get more stick from these keyboard warrior fans for doing business that way is beyond me, because I respect the hell out of how Liverpool do business. It's just kind of crazy. And yeah, Liz, I mean, can you tell me the last time Man U sold a player? I mean, Ronaldo, right? That's got to be it. Everyone else has been a flop. Everyone else has been a flop, man. Oh boy, it's kind of crazy. All right, man. Let's look at this Burnley preview here. God. Meanwhile, my expensive microphone doesn't work, so I'm kind of pissed about that. But it is what it is. Okay. All right. Look. So Liverpool's recent form, obviously, won 3 in a row. Burnley have lost 2 and won 1 game. Last match, February at Anfield. Liverpool ended up winning 3-1. Previous matchup, 2-0 at Turf Moor, and then 1-0 at Turf Moor. So Burnley struggled to score. Okay. The last 18 Premier League meetings against the two clubs, guys, 14 wins for Liverpool, 2 draws, 2 losses. All right. Goals for is 38 to 11. 38 to 11. All right. Now, Burnley's lineup, Dubravka in goal. You got Walker, Hartman, Esteve, and Ekdal. Probably pronouncing all of these here. But Agachukwu, Anthony, oh God, I don't know any of these guys. Cullen, Laurent, and Foster. All right. I don't know. Oh, Broja. I do know that name. Florentino. Okay, actually, I do know a lot of these guys. Interesting. Okay. And 26 minutes to kick off, okay, at Turf Moor, obviously. But, oh, perfect. This is what I was looking for. I couldn't find it, but I found it now. So, Slot on Isak's debut, okay? And this is Slot quoting to the media. Quote, as everybody knew, he didn't have any team training at Newcastle, then went to the national team and only played there for 15 to 20 minutes. We think with a week where we play 3 games in 7 days, this is the best lead up for him to be available against Atletico Madrid. That's always difficult to say how quickly he will be up to full speed. What I can say is that normally in a preseason, after 1 or 2 weeks, you play your first 45 to 60 minutes. You build that up gradually, but that you do with proper training sessions during the week. And now we hardly have any proper training sessions with the team because we play, like I just said, 3 games in 7 days. So where would he be? Second or third week of preseason, I would say, so able to hopefully play during the week 45 minutes or more. But then 2 days later, as you know, we play Everton again. It's going to be interesting for the performance staff, for us, to get the best out of him at the start, but also keep him available for the end. My pronunciation brings you joy. I'm very happy I can bring somebody joy here. Okay. Scott Parker, to the media regarding the match. You're playing against an elite, world-class team with numerous players in their team who are obviously world-class talents. So we understand the challenge. As always, it's a 90-minute game of football, and we'll go and give the best version of ourselves. We're going to need a lot of things to go our way. We understand that. But we're relishing this opportunity like we have done at the start of this season. I think that has been the main theme for us, really, in terms of relishing these opportunities and going up against the best. And no doubt, we're going up against an extremely good team, which we've seen over many years now. We're looking forward to it. There you have it. Liverpool have won 8 of their 9 away Premier League matches at Turf Moor, only 1 loss, including the last 6 in a row. Following their 2-0 success over Sunderland, Burnley will be looking to start a top-flight campaign with back-to-back home victories for just a second time. Very interesting. Liverpool have lost just 2 of their last 28 Premier League games that have come immediately after an international break. 21 wins and 5 draws, which is actually kind of wild because I feel like we're sluggish after an international break. Absolutely crazy. And I want to give everyone plenty of time to prep for the game. So we'll jump right into score predictions, especially because I see Oyvind here now, and especially because my mic's not working, so I feel like the audio's crap. So I appreciate you guys putting up with it. But 4-1 sounds realistic. After an international break, going up against Burnley, Ekitike, Salah. I'll go 3-1. I'll go 3-1. I think 3-1 is a great choice, personally. 3-1. I think Hugo goes 4 for 4. I really do. Salah's got to get on the score sheet again. I know he's playing a different role, quote unquote role this year. No, scratch that. Hugo scores 2. Yeah, you heard it here first. Hugo scores 2. Florian gets an assist. And Konate scores. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Oyvind's going 4-1. That's honestly, guys, that's all I got today. I know this show was a little bit weird because of the audio issues and then the timing of the match, but I'm going to figure out the audio issue so next week it's a little bit better because we're going all the way back to when I first started the channel with how we're doing the audio right now. And if you guys want a good laugh, go ahead and watch old Sunday summaries if you want a really good laugh. Liz says Hugo, Salah, Verts, and Van Dijk to score. How often does it happen where you get 4 different goal scorers, though? You know, I always think about that. I'm like, how often does that actually happen? Because that's a crazy game. So anyways, guys, enjoy the match. We got about 20 minutes or so here until kickoff. I'm pumped. I'll work on the microphone. And until next week, Reds, take care.